Good evening, everybody, for the second time. Welcome to the November meeting of the Historic Preservation Board, which is that say, I can't see that far.
5:44?
5:44 on November 4th, 2021. We'll do the minutes first. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Any corrections, comments, anything you want changed? No? No. Great. Good job, Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
I'm sorry,
further
who seconded?
Pardon?
Who seconded the minutes?
We didn't second them yet.
Who moved and seconded the minutes?
Move to approve.
Thank
Move
you.
to-
And second?
I'm sorry.
Steve?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? No.
You know what, I
Okay.
gave you, I'm sorry, Tom, I printed out the wrong agenda.
Yeah, I guess, that's why my little
at it.
confusion here, I
The
didn't
right
know
agenda is
who.
on the screen, but I've got the wrong one, so we're going to go with the one on the screen.
Can you make
Just
it a
the
little
date is
larger,
wrong.
please?
Yeah, could we make it bigger? I have no idea what that says.
Maybe not.
Well,
We can magnify it. Sorry.
actually,
Quite that far.
Excellent. Oh, it's gone.
No, just zoom in a little bit more.
actually, Jim,
It's just the date
it's
that's
just
wrong.
the date. They're correct.
No, I printed out another one, and it's not the right one. I think I gave you the wrong one.
Yeah. it's-
Okay,
So,
but
yes,
the
this is
date
correct.
on
This is
this
correct,
one
yeah.
is wrong. Can you
Absolutely.
change that?
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay, all right. So the minutes have been passed. There are no introductions or communications. And is there any public participation tonight?
We have our applicant. No, we don't have any public participation, but the people that are here this evening are on
Right,
behalf of the
no, I know,
applicants.
yeah.
Yeah, we're all
But,
set.
okay, so then we will start with number 5, the Certificate of Appropriateness, and welcome Mr. and Mrs. Brozost, who are requesting approval to paint the exterior of their residence at 2001, right? 5 Mile Line Road. And do you want to explain to us what you would like to do?
Before we do that, Steve, could you do me a favor and please either sit down with Mira or sit with Kathy, and then we'll have Mr. Brozost and his wife come up and Mark, give your name and address and for the record.
I'll speak into the mic, but I guarantee you I don't need it. Hi, and thank you. My name is Mark Brozost, and I'm here with my wife and neighbors, Maria and Dan and Claudette Crowley. We own the house on 2001 5 Mile Line Road, as you said. It was went into on the public record in about 1840. No, not about. It went on public record in 1842. And from what I know about the house, in 1905 there was somewhat of a major remodel on it, and it went from a farmhouse to the remodel done by John Hall was done to make it into a Greek Revival. And my wife and I, have gone around and looked at a lot of Greek Revival houses in the area and as far out as Geneseo and other places to look at some of the historic colors that they were using, and have chosen a color combination that we think and hope that you'll approve of.
Okay.
I'd like to present that to you.
Sure.
So the shutters, we want to go with what's called Rockwood Shutter Green. From a distance, it'll appear as black. It's a very dark green, and that would be the color of the shutters. Then the base of the house, and I see the house is up right there, so the base of the house will be yellow. And that's the front of the house, and there's a great deal of trim around the sides of the house as well, because when he converted to Greek Revival, there are dental molding and frieze board all around the side. With that, we'd like to go with white, as exactly as it is right now. It's a pure white, and it'll stay in the same color as that. We think it'll pop nicely with the white on the outside and the yellow as a base.
Okay. Can you tell me what, I was a little bit confused with, you had written a short letter regarding the colors, and it was Benjamin Moore
Yes.
paint, classic yellow.
Yes.
Okay. I went to pick up a sample of that, and they said Benjamin Moore doesn't have classic yellow.
Classical yellow.
It's classical yellow. Actually, as I look at the chip that I have right here, it is a Sherwin-Williams
Okay.
color
That-
that we brought over to Benjamin Moore, because our painter wants to use Benjamin Moore, and they'll mix this color.
Okay, so I guess maybe I could get a job as a detective, because that's what it took me from Mayors to Sherwin-Williams, because the gentleman at Mayors told me that that color is a Sherwin-Williams color, but he'd be happy to make it for me in Benjamin Moore. So I figured, okay.
And the reason it kind of went that way was our contractor originally was going to use Sherwin-Williams and sent
Okay.
us there originally, and there was a 4% increase in the cost, and he asked us to go to Benjamin Moore, so we took the same paint.
Okay, Mira, do you want to pass these around so I don't?
I'll get
What you have?
Yeah, this is the actual sample, so they all. It's just hard to see
Sure.
that's.
Yes.
Could you maybe pass the green around too, so we can put the two together?
Absolutely.
Are you going to have anything green? think
I actually
you
did see this one
were
in the
going with
store.
black shutters.
We were, and we decided that when we looked through the other historical houses, there's
there
a
you go.
darker green that it appears black from the
Okay.
street, but it is green. We'd prefer to go that way.
And I was researching paint colors for that period house. And you got that other thing up on the screen, right, Jim, when you get back to your seat?
I do.
Okay. I found an interesting article on in Yankee Magazine by a woman who's written a book on paint colors. She's a preservationist. And a couple of things that they show me at Sherwin-Williams that went with classic yellow and is, and I'm not saying you have to do this, I'm just letting you know. That's the yellow in the middle on the screen here.
Yep.
So that's the color that the preservation consultant was recommending
Okay.
in the middle there.
What's it called?
You know what, I don't remember, and I can't see, the colors are on the side.
It's called John Quill, Jonquil.
But that doesn't look that far off from
It doesn't. Ours looks a little more muted than that.
right,
Which
yeah,
we
I think
did
so.
want to be.
Yeah, so, and the reason I was pointing this out is, it was interesting, they were do you know when your house was painted last?
Yes, it was by me, but I stayed in the exact same white that it was all along.
right,
So I've
okay.
painted it in the last 22 years, I think 4 times. It constantly peels, which is something I've been trying to
Right,
trying to solve.
because they were explaining in a couple of sources that I went to that the actual historic white was not the pure white that we think of today.
Really?
Because it has a different, the chemical that they add to it now to make that super white wasn't available then. So it was, trying to see, they used, it says that, however, these colors were quite different from today's bright whites. The linseed oil used as a binder in early oil paints lent a yellowish tint to the palest colors. Today, paint manufacturers are using titanium dioxide to create pure white shades. So the white, it's faded since you painted it, I'm sure, but it probably was a little bit, the original was a little bit different just because the materials weren't available. So I'm not saying that we're going to say you have to do that. I'm just putting it out there to see what people think. And they did mention the dark trim, which is exactly what you chose to show off the, to highlight things. So I guess I'll open it to anybody have questions, or what are you thinking?
Can you please look on the side elevation?
Yes.
You have a photograph.
North side, south side?
Just side, any side. Okay, I'm just trying to understand, get a clear picture here, what will be white and, as a trim and what will be yellow.
Okay, yep.
Jim, is it possible to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah.
And
Somewhere?
that's the south side, I'm sorry, yeah, south side. I think I took it, oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna, if it's all right, I'll approach
Okay.
the screen.
Sure.
Oops.
So this freeze board up here, and it's a little hard to see in this picture, and has dental molding all along here. So from the top of the,
Everyone participating on a microphone, please. There might be a wireless mic up there.
Just go right to Tom's, I guess.
oh,
Unless,
thank you. Can I pick it up? That's fine, I'll speak towards it. So there's a freeze board that goes from the roof down about, I'd say 24 inches. And on that, there's dental molding. All of that was placed on, I believe, in 1905 when he converted to Greek Revival. That will all remain white as it is now. And then as you come down, the base of the house, anything that's a clapboard would be white, I mean gold, yellow. And then in here, there is also siding and clapboard. That would all go yellow, but there is also Greek Revival post here and here, that would remain white.
Okay.
And trim around that door would remain white.
And window trim.
Yes, and around the window.
And the bay window is practically all trim, so it will be all white?
Correct.
Basically, the clapboard is the yellow.
Is
and
the only
everything
thing
else
that'll
is
be
white.
yellow.
And then the shutters will be the dark,
This will be the dark.
dark.
I like it.
All right.
I think it will be nice.
Mira, this is as an architect, maybe you know the answer. I didn't find it online, but the owners were asking for satin, like a satin paint instead of a flat paint, right? Isn't that what you said
Yes.
on your, and I don't think
You-
the word satin would not have been
No,
around then.
No, flat is not used on the siding. On the siding, use it either satin or semi-gloss.
Okay,
So,
even now, because they wouldn't have had satin in,
Well, back then, they used gloss.
Gloss,
They used very,
okay.
very bright.
I was
Which
just
he
curious
doesn't
as-
want to do.
Right.
So, satin is absolutely fine.
Good,
Satin is kind of like eggshell. It's a little bit, it's not totally
Right. Mm-hmm.
flat, it has just little sheen to it.
I understand why you would want it. I was just curious at how you resolved the issue with what it looked like before to what it looks like now. Hi, Don, how are you?
I think it's appropriate.
Good, all right. Does anybody have any other?
It looks good to me.
Yeah,
Daniel Penfield would love it because his house was yellow and his flouring mill was yellow. That was his favorite color, so he would love it.
right.
That's excellent.
And there are two other yellow properties in the historic district and one gold
Yes.
color, right?
Yep.
Okay. And you're hoping to get it done very soon?
Yeah, if the weather had held, he would have started next week, but it's not going to start. And
Okay.
we're afraid that it won't bond. Well, 39 degrees is what's written on the can. But that's too cold, in my opinion, and probably won't bond. So we'll be the first on his list for spring of
Great.
next year.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion?
I move to approve?
Second?
Can we flush that motion out a little bit with the colors?
Yeah, if you'd like to, we could, do you want to go through with what you did, or do you want me to do it for you?
Well, Mira made
You want
the
me to do it?
motion, but you have the name.
Well, yes, and,
We'll attach the chips, so we're clear what colors.
Right, you've got the Rockwood shutter green for the shutters. You've got the yellow classical, which is currently Sherwin-Williams, which will be converted to Benjamin Moore once we get moving. And then you've got a trim white, and then I think he explained pretty well, which will incorporate which is going where on the building as it relates to the window, the trim, the columns, and and the frieze and fascia.
Okay, so we had Mira made the motion, Tom seconded it. Any further conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Don, are
I'm
you-
sorry you couldn't get it done,
Yeah.
you know.
Excuse me?
It's going to look great, too, in the district, so I wish we would have gotten it done sooner, but we'll get it
Yeah.
done.
Don, were you comfortable voting on that?
Yeah, I had.
You saw
read the
everything.
application. I just looked at the colors.
Very
and
good.
Followed what you said.
Excellent. Okay, thank
I
you.
was in favor of it.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
have a
night.
nice evening.
Moving right along. Back.
Okay, so moving on to number 6. Any informational items you want to comment on, Jim?
The only thing I want to talk to you about is, real quickly, is we did talk a little bit about the Clark House the last time we were together.
Uh-huh.
Since that point in time, our contractors have gone into the Clark House and have been doing some selective cuts here and there. They have found some damage, some important damage that has to be addressed. So if you go by there, you will see you'll see some caution tape around the building. You'll see some areas where they've cut into the building. Everything's going to be replaced back to what it was at this point in time, but there is some activity taking place there to determine what needs to be done and to what extent. So I want you to be aware of it in case you're driving by and you see it. That is the issue at hand right now.
I had a general question. Last time you were saying that much of the property has been newer additions.
Yeah, I was surprised to see how many changes and additions there had been on. The initial building, I think, was built in 1832. That is the front portion that you see as you drive by. Then there was an addition, an L-shaped or a T-shaped addition that was put on in 1932. And then everything after that was actually added on as part of the clubhouse for the building when they converted that to the clubhouse from a home when they built the golf course. So a lot of it is, when I say new, it's relatively new relating to the original portions, but
Right.
you're talking about the early 80s and 90s versus 1832, 1839, that type of thing.
Kathy, do we have pictures that, do you know, at the local history room that follow that?
No, we have pictures, we don't have any pictures of the house before it had any additions, I don't think. I can't remember the earliest one we have. I can go back through and.
Yeah, it would be just interesting to see as.
I sent
it-
one
it
early
goes-
one to Jim when he was doing some research, but I don't remember the date on it.
Okay.
Just let me just quickly go in and just show you what we're talking about here. So the original house is this portion right here. And I believe that was 1839, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. The second portion was built in 1932, which is this portion here, which goes off the back end. It creates a T-shaped building. But all the rest of it after that was all added on to accommodate the clubhouse, the bar, dining area, and the locker rooms for the golf course. The original was really just basically, well, the original was basically just this, and then the addition back in the 1930s was this.
And that's that oldest part is probably where you're seeing the most.
The oldest part, well, yes,
Here.
the biggest problems are in this area here, and that's what we're wrestling with right now. So I will keep you posted as we move forward. And
Okay. Because it'd be interesting too when we see the proposal for the final use to
Right.
understand.
well, you're going to see it before then because obviously there are going to have to be some, some improvements to that building to make it functional, and you're going to be responsible for issuing certificates of appropriateness to do that. If they're going to be much different than what's out there today, and I think that they're going to be bringing things to you just as a reference to see what you think about any modifications.
Okay.
Is there a schedule for the consultant's report?
Very soon. As a matter of fact, I think it's on the agenda well, they had, actually last night, the town board did approve funding for the finalization of the report. So it should be coming to us fairly quickly, and I'll certainly get a copy of that to you when the time comes.
Is it interior or exterior work? I mean, can it be done?
Well, it's both, because the clapboards are starting to rot away in certain areas. The fascia boards are rotting. There's some rot in the foundation area, just above the foundation, that has to be repaired. There's mold issues. There's all sorts of things going on there that have to be addressed, and there's going to have to be replacements to what's there now. So
Okay.
keep you posted.
All right, any other information?
Nope.
Okay. Number 7, the held items, there are none. Number 8, do we have any other business?
No, not this evening.
Okay, and then number 9 would be a continuation of old business and which was last month, was the discussion of goals and priorities for 2022. We just need to start compiling a list about that. But one thing that Jim pointed out to me recently, and I agree with him, I went and looked today on Penfield Road, and the sign by Peachtree that welcomes you to, the historic district, and I noticed another one in front of what used to be the gas station. I think it's now just a repair shop on the corner of Penfield Road and 5 Mile Line. Really need to be refurbished. They're rusty, and I don't know how many signs are there to.
There are several signs. You've got the Denanville trail signs, which were done several years ago, but we are responsible for maintaining those. They were actually given to us by the County of Monroe, but under the provision that we maintain them. They were done 20 years ago, and I don't think they're in that great a shape. They need to be looked at as well. You've got some of the signs, like the one on Empire Boulevard for Dayton's Corners, that type of thing. There's an inventory, and we should go through that inventory and figure out what needs to be done.
And when you and I talked briefly, we weren't sure what the lead agency would be on that.
Well, the funding agency will be the town board, obviously.
No, I know, but I mean, do we request that the town board start an inventory, or do we do the inventory?
Yes, you would do the inventory and make a recommendation to the town board as to what needs to be done, and then the town board would allocate funding to accommodate that. There is some funding in your budget for some of that, but probably not for the extent that needs to be accomplished for all the signs that need to be repaired.
And is there a timeline for getting it in a budget so it could be done in?
Well, the timeline was from July to last week, so, but there is some money there, and certainly, I think it's going to take you a while to do the inventory anyways, and then determine what can and can't be done in-house versus having to be sent to some specialist to do some work. I know that the Denanville signs, the Denanville trail signs, actually, we worked out an arrangement with BOCES. They were training kids how to spray paint and all this, so they kind of took that under their wing, and it took them a whole semester to take care of them. There were so many, but they did a great job, and that was many, many years ago. So there are opportunities to look at things like that, but realistically, we'll have to get a consultant to do the work.
Well, since it's winter and nobody's going to be refurbishing signs in the middle of winter, it's a good time to start the process.
Oh, it might be a good time for them to want to work on those signs, so.
Well, you think they would take them down?
Oh, yeah. They all come, they come off, they're all screwed in, and you unscrew it or unbolt it, and it just pops right off. They're fairly heavy. It would take 2 people to do it, and one person cannot.
So if we started on that sooner than later would be a good idea.
Be a good move, yeah.
And could you, is there an inventory electronic that you could send to us?
No, but we could probably do an inventory just to get that information to you as to where they all are, and then you can go ahead and make a decision as to prioritize what you think needs to be done first.
Even if there's a paper list, you can just scan it and,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's not a problem. We can get you that material. You just have to make the decisions as to which ones you think need the most work early on.
Right.
Because you're not going to have a lot of funding to do them all at any given time, so.
But once we start, I know there's rust on the ones I looked at today.
Yeah, they are. That one on the corner of Peachtree and Penfield Road is in really bad shape.
Yeah.
That's one of the newer signs that was put up when we created the district. It wasn't that long ago.
Right.
Although it's relative, I guess. It's been a while.
Okay, so that's in addition to our list. We had some things which were mentioned in the minutes last time.
Yes,
that
we had
to
several
accomplish.
items.
Does anybody have any other thoughts on something they want to add? We were also going to find out something about that property on Old Penfield Road.
Yes, and I haven't had a chance to do that for you
There's
yet, but I
more,
will.
there's more trucks there.
Well, actually,
I
do you
did
know?
check, they don't have any permits that I'm aware of, so maybe I can check in next week, just to drive by and stop in and say, hey, you guys doing anything that requires a permit?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But yeah, they currently don't have any permits that I'm aware of.
Well, it looked like a lot of dumpsters the last time.
Yeah, so,
You know,
I guess we'll see.
okay.
I can stop in and check on them.
All right,
Just the house at the top of the hill.
yeah. Before the, because that porch is really sagging and looks in danger of coming off, actually.
Yeah, we have a couple of open complaints, I know that,
Oh,
on the
do you?
property, just because it was vacant and there were some issues on possibly someone getting in, things like that. So those are still open, so I can check on those as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, new business?
No new business?
And we are going to have an executive session tonight after we adjourn this part of the meeting. Before we do that, though, the next meeting, December 2nd?
Yes.
Okay,
In this room at 5:30, excuse me.
okay. How's the 5:30 working for you downtown folks? No?
Today was a fluke.
Okay,
Very good. I commend all three of you. I know you've got to come in from downtown. It's not the easiest thing to do in rush hour, so.
I also realized I need to update my phone. Your number, and there was the 428 number from the Friends.
oh dear.
Kind of old.
Yeah,
And I have updated your email, so thank you.
Thank you.
well, usually, is it December when you come out with the new?
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, we
Schedule.
will be bringing out, I'll be sending you a new schedule just to make sure you're all comfortable with dates. If you have conflicts, just let me know, and we'll make sure we can work around that for you. And right now, we're keeping it at the time at 5:30 on the first Thursday of the month.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn? Mike's not here, so,
I'll do it
All
on behalf of
right.
Mike.
okay.
Don, way to go.
Second,
I do.
6:11.
all in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
All right, that concludes this meeting.